I will go ahead and record this. Andrew, just if you don't mind introducing yourself to my class and your business and kind of what you're looking to accomplish here.
Hey, what's up? My name is Andrew Moltz. I'm the founder of Monster Agency. We are an advertising agency that specializes in Facebook ads, Google ads, Bing ads, TikTok ads, Amazon ads. I'm probably leaving one out. We do email marketing, SMS marketing, and we do conversion rate optimization and video production. Um, Based in Dallas, Texas, but we've got team members literally all over the world, 37-person team. Um, for this project, what we're trying to accomplish is that someone from an ad, excuse me, from an ad, of course, somebody sees our ad, and there's an ability to be able to get an audit from our agency. They would then go just like how you would pretty much sign up with any kind of like normal account. You go to their website, it says enter your name or use your Google whatever to create an account and kind of sign up, get that first step started. Once they're signed in and they've got past that, and they're kind of exploring a little bit of a dashboard, their first step would be, in order to proceed with your audit, please sign in or access your Facebook. I'm not sure the exact verbiage, but connect your Facebook account, your ad account. And then I don't know what would come after that necessarily, but that's when we get their ad account information, then we would be able to provide them a manual audit. In like a 30,000 foot overview, the entire point of us doing this and wanting to try and do it is to be able to provide businesses, brand owners, anybody who has an advertising agency that's maybe already managing their ad account or somebody internally. This is supposed to help them and bolster their efforts. So they're going to get a second pair of eyes on the work that's being done. Whereas if, most everybody in this class, if I told them to go in and look at an ad account, they might not know apples from oranges. And so that a lot of times that's who's managing the person who's running the ads is somebody who doesn't necessarily understand the ad account and what's going on in there. And so they needed a little bit interpreted. And so that's what we're looking to provide is just either a second pair of eyes in the form of an audit or just a recurring type of thing where every month we're providing the best practices. This is what you're doing wrong. This is what you're doing right. You should probably try and do this. So that's kind of it.
So again, to spit it back to you, my understanding, you're looking for a website. You register on the website. Now you have an account. Please, step one, give us permission, access into your Facebook ad account. Whenever that permission is granted, you'll pull that data off of Facebook, displayed in a dashboard, so that you can provide, as you're saying, a second set of eyes, because obviously the business owner has their eyes on their Facebook dashboard, but you're looking for your expertise and your set of eyes on the metrics that matter to you.
Right.
Yeah, I think more or less.
Okay. And I think I think the code would probably have some automation in it to where you set kind of some standards. So like if you see they only have one ad set, you need to at least be running 4 different ad sets across 5. Just off, I don't know ads more than me, but they have one audience. So like just you have like a kind of a list of things that the code's going to look against what the data that's pulled back is to automatically just throw some red flags. Say this isn't, and then the ability for you guys to get on a call with them and go through what you see to actually display or list out and show them what's wrong too. So probably some automation there where you have some set things that if they don't match what you say is good, so that's a kind of another little piece to it, I would think.
Those could be like best practice definitions that they look against. Like, how many campaigns do you have? You should have one for prospecting, one for retargeting. What is the budgetary splits on those? Do you have 80% of your budget going towards retargeting and 20% towards prospecting? Because that'd be top heavy or bottom heavy. Just things like that. And there's an ability to define those so that we can automatically pull it up and give them like, check engine lights coming on of stuff that's incorrect. That'd be helpful.
So before you hopped on the call, we were just more or less telling the class like the benefits of to them of working with this real world, building something real world, building something for someone that would be used. And so that's kind of the only part of this conversation that you missed, is more or less selling the students on the benefits to them.
Well, right before you got on the call, I started talking about the benefits of getting exposed to ads. Like, that's a whole other, I mean, Andrew's a great use case for it. You can make a bunch of money running ads for people. You can make a bunch of money starting a business and running ads. So just getting exposed to like how online advertising works is highly beneficial. It's a great market. Tons and tons and tons of money out there sloshed around on ads.
And so the current, thought process is team project for the students. They can all contribute in various ways. It's not going to be one student working on it. It could be, again, a team effort that's going to provide benefits to the students.
Yep.
It's not part of the class. I'm not grading this. This is not any hard requirements that I'm saying, hey, you have to do this for class. Currently, it's going to be considered a side project.
So I kind of picture this working as like, I'll be like the tech lead on the project.
Okay.
And we'll have like a Slack channel where everyone's in on it. We create a repository where the code's being stored. We decide as a group where we want to host it, and we get a web server stood up, and we get like just a landing page out there, so that's like the first step of this thing. And I'll write all this out, so
Okay.
like our documentation, and kind of like almost like a curriculum, right? We'll say this is the first step, second step, third step, and kind of put in goals and timelines that I want to hit them by. And then that's kind of how it would work. So it would just be, I work all day, every day, so does Andrew. So if you guys are working at midnight and you put something in Slack, there's 99% chance one of us is going to respond to it. So, especially because, we want to help you, especially if you're working outside of whenever you're at, you're not in class and you're working outside, I want to make sure that we're getting you the answers you need, because you're putting in time, yourself outside of your job or whatever your normal life is to help with this thing. So that's kind of how I anticipate it working out. So, I have some homework to do where I actually need to flesh out the requirements document, like I said, kind of build it like a curriculum, and then I'll work with Andrew to get that kind of fleshed out so we know because we want a version 1, which is an MVP, it's the minimum viable product. So we don't want to build, and this is also a lesson for you guys too, like if you go to build something and especially if you want to use it or sell it to people, you got to get the bare bones thing done and find people to use it before you get 2 or 3 years into building something and realize that no one wants to use this thing.
Right.
Or
Get feedback from your customers,
So
right?
get
Get
feedback
feedback,
as
constant
fast as
loop.
possible.
Yeah.
And I've worked with so many people, and I'm actually trying to hire one of the guys that I work with, but he's one of the smartest guys I know, and I'm trying to hire a senior dev under me to keep pushing stuff forward. But his problem is it's never good enough. It's never perfect enough. Where every single time that I've pushed an update to my website, I've made money, and it's been perfectly fine. Where if he was the one doing the work, we would have never pushed anything.
Yeah.
So
You never got off the dock.
You got to be able to just get it done, and it doesn't have to be the prettiest thing ever. Like, yeah, you want to write stuff decently, but you don't have to use the latest tech stacks. My website is running on ASP.NET. It's a C# MVC and just raw JavaScript and HTML and CSS. There's no Bootstrap. There's no JavaScript frameworks. There's none of that crap. And it sold $8 million of hats last year. Like, there's so much that, all the buzzwords and the hype around tech stacks. It's like you just have to build the basic version, get it out there.
And I'm in agreement with Robert. A lot of times, and you learn this in the textbooks too, when it comes to software development, there's scales, and it's like how much does it cost, how long is it going to take, and how quick to market.
Yeah.
And these things kind of like when one goes up, the other goes down,
Yeah.
And so you got this scale of importance and what's the most important. And in today's software environment, time to market and quick time to market, is high priority, so that you can iterate and make improvements. Just get it out there, get people using it, make improvements, and go. Your first version will be broken, and you'll improve it as you go. Think of the games you all play. How many games are released full of bugs? But you know what? You're playing it.
Yeah.
You're playing it. They've got a market. They've got you using it. They sold you.
Well,
you know?
like League of Legends is an amazing example of how, like, if you look at back when the game first came out, how shitty it was compared to what it is now. And some people might not agree with that, but just the improvements that it's made over time. That's exactly the same thing. Like, if you look at my business, if you look at what the website was when it first launched, when I was making sales on the internet, versus now, I'm surprised I made any sales of how bad it was.
Right.
But it worked, and it just keeps getting better. And the better it gets, the more we get. So. Yeah, I just kind of hopefully can implant in your hands too. But we do want to build it so that it is somewhat scalable. So you don't want to build it on bubble gum and tape and it just falls apart the second time. You get 2 customers on it and it completely crashes. But that's where my help will come in and say someone's tasked with building out like the data structure. I'll take a look at it and say we should actually separate this out into separate tables instead of putting a bunch of data in a string in a column in the database, right? So
again, we'll get some hard requirements written on paper, but basically website, login, Facebook, tie in the Facebook account, get it live on the internet, get it in Andrew's hands. Here's what I want to see better. Version 2, bring in another API. Version 3, bring in another API. You do it once, you do it a few times.
Right.
You start, again, Andrew, list all the platforms you work with. I mean, there's like 10 of them, yeah?
Yeah, at least probably like I think 5 to 6 that would be good ones to pull in: Facebook ads, TikTok ads, Google ads, Bing ads, Amazon ads, Twitter ads, Snapchat ads.
What's cool about is once we do the first integration to Facebook, the integrations to the others, they're all very similar. Yeah. Now they're all going to be a little bit different, like with the OAuth, the authentication and stuff. Like they all have their own little quirks, but it's going to be like, okay, well I did it here. And then when you go to do the next, it's going to be like, all right, it's basically the same thing, just different data, little different structure of the data, but taking that data and molding into where it all matches on our end is what we'll ultimately be doing. So I think it's a pretty easy project in the grand scheme of things because it's all been done before. The code's out there, easily accessible on the internet, and it's going to be a cool project for you guys to kind of collaborate. And then also get, I'll be helping with the build out of it, so you'll be working with someone I'm not some genius developer. I call myself a meat and potatoes programmer. I literally only do what I have to, and that's all I'm going to do. So, and I don't use fancy shit. I don't, snakes and sparklers are all I like.
When he was
Joe Dirt fans.
I
mean, before your guys' time.
Robert came in HTML class, refused to use any other tool besides Notepad. Not even Notepad++.
Yeah.
Wouldn't even do Notepad++. And so his IDE was just like raw, like basic, like
Notepad. HTML,
were you Notepad++
CSS,
kind of?
I eventually.
You eventually went to Notepad++.
Yeah.
So the point is, however, by the time he graduated, probably had 200 websites under his belt. And built.
I don't think it was that many, but yeah, that's a lot.
A lot of
Yeah.
But you did internships where you did touch a lot of websites.
Well, yeah, the amount of
so if
websites
you
I
include the
touched,
internships,
yeah, right.
So point is that's just whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Get the job done. Get the job done, and I like that philosophy in a lot of cases.
Yep.
What are we missing, Andrew?
I'm a Taurus.
All right, Capricorn here.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't
know. It's January 1st. I don't even know.
That's about me. But no, I mean, I think everything else that I mentioned is pretty straightforward. If you got any other questions, let me know. I think it'll be cool for whoever is touching the project and involved in it to see it go to market and see something that they kind of build from scratch, get built up, get it into our hands. What we do is run ads. That's what we're really good at. We'll build out advertising around it, start driving traffic to it, and you can see it in kind of in real time, depending upon how involved the class is. But see in real time the process of potential customer here goes to website. What happens next? Boom, boom, boom after that. And do they become a user or do they not? And then the improvement process that goes on beyond that.
Here's a question for you. So we were talking about, your successful business and some of the clients that you have. And so Robert said, I spend X dollars on ads every day. And so, we'll pull in that data from Robert's account, for example, and that's going to be a fair amount of data. But a bigger client, safe to say, they're going to have more data to pull in, right? And so, I don't know. Is it okay? Who are some of the clients that you have? Again, just kind of speaking to the size of these clients and all the data they're working with. Is that okay to ask?
Yes, it's totally fine to ask. I don't know, like legalities wise, on pulling in the other people's stuff and like how like that's the kind of, this is an unknown territory to me of like pulling in people's data and stuff like that. Some people they don't care. Other people might be like, oh, why were you doing that, or should I have been notified? I'm not sure what the process is for that, to be honest.
Okay, but let's just say one of your bigger clients agreed and did all
Sure.
the legal paperwork to say, yes, you can scrape my data.
Uh-huh.
Who are some of those clients?
Um, I don't know. Foxit, they're a big competitor with Adobe.
Yeah, I'm familiar
Uh,
with them. I've downloaded some of their software.
Okay, yeah. So Foxit would be a pretty decent one. I don't know if I'll be able to get the authorization there. A lot of tape to go through. SeatGeek, Liberty University.
So
Um,
SeatGeek, if I'm going to buy St. Louis City soccer tickets, you got to buy it on SeatGeek. I mean, they're not on any other platform, I don't think.
um, I'll have to go through Rolodex, but I mean, those are some of like the big ones,
Yeah, that's
obviously.
cool. I'm just curious
Hat
so my
Launch.
students can recognize some names. And again, uh,
Yeah,
to speak to the success of your business, you have some bigger clients. That's all.
we do. We help a lot of, I'd say a lot of small to medium sized businesses grow a bunch too.
Cool.
Case in point, mine.
Yeah.
What's up? Your question?
Is the goal of this to like lay out information that would be kind of hard to understand with, by looking at Facebook's stuff?
It's basically layman's terms. Here's your ad account. These are the problems we see in your ad account.
So
Right.
dumbing it down
For sure. And like, if you go look up the Facebook Ads Manager now, like look at some videos of someone going through the Ads Manager, it's very confusing for someone that doesn't know and eat, sleep, and breathe.
I could share an example if I can share my screen.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
And
they
they
can
can
see it.
watch and eventually have all these different platforms that you're pulling in from.
Yeah.
We're starting with Facebook, but
Yeah.
we're gonna.
Yeah, and they're all quirky and
I'll be right back. We got another question.
complex. So
they're built for people that know what they're doing. Not that.
yes, people that eat, sleep, and breathe and live in
So
those
like
things.
lay out like information in a table or something so it's easier to understand.
Yep,
Stuff like that.
for sure. And just showing more high level data because it's hard to even just see a high level number in an ad account.
Language would we be building this in
It's to be determined.
to be determined?
Yep.
Are you able to see my screen here?
Yep, we can see it.
Okay. So I'm just kind of in our ad account right now, though. But like if I go like last 7 days, these are going to be like the campaigns. So they go by the tabs. These are the campaigns tab. Inside of the campaign houses the ad sets and the actual ads. So this is where a lot of the targetings would occur in the ad sets, and then this is where a lot of the ads are going to be in here. So if I go in one of these campaigns, and I've got them broken out by service, like email marketing, Facebook prospecting, conversion rate optimization, Google Ads. If I click on like this one, for example, Facebook, and I go inside of one of these, so this is a new one that was actually just built out, and it says Klaviyo 2% LAAs. So for you guys, it might not make sense. Like, what does that mean? For most people that are running ads, they know that it's probably going to be a Klaviyo-based seed audience.
Yeah. So
And a seed audience.
Klaviyo is an email marketing platform.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So like an email list. And so the seeds were based on everybody who opened an email in the last 90 days, all current and past clients, and then everybody who's opted into the newsletter. And so then there's a lookalike audience made from that. And that's a lot of what Facebook's gold is what drove a lot of their advertising growth, is the ability to go right here. And it just says all website visitors in the last 180 days. So as a business owner, I can come in there, or advertiser, I can come in there, click on that, create a lookalike audience, and Facebook's going to create me a 2.8 million size lookalike audience of the people that most similar look like people that are taking this action. So, which is great. But if we go even down further in the funnel, and we've heard of stuff a lot in like a sales funnel, where the top of the funnel is like new traffic, hasn't really been familiarized with you, and bottom of the funnel would be somebody who added to cart, they got all the way to checkout, but they didn't purchase. If I was to take everybody who is like like anybody who has completed an actual form on our website, which would be this would be a much more premium audience compared to anybody who just went to the website, because that doesn't show much intent or action.
Yeah.
But this is people who actually signed up for a proposal. And so I would do that same thing. So this is where the ad sets are. This is where a lot of targeting occurs. Age, demographics, gender, other interest-based targeting. And then inside of that ad set, because we're on the ad set level, is the ads. And like if I was to audit this right now, I would say, hey, you have too many ads running. But we're doing something different with this, and I know what I'm doing with it. But on the surface, I would say, hey, this is no good. That would be one red flag for me. All these ads that are live. So that's like an example of stuff. And then, of course, all these columns right here. Let me go to the top level. All these columns up here: amount spent, reach, impressions, frequency, cost per click, cost per 1,000 impressions. This is just how I like to view the data specifically. So you can sort all this stuff on your own. And these would be, and this might be important, but these would be individual types of fields that you could potentially pull data based on.
Yep.
So, for example, like anybody who has viewed a video for 95% from the ads, anybody who has done an outbound click, and they've got little definitions when you hover over them. Yep. And then, of course, the time frame of what you're pulling the ads from. I can re-explain this as many times as needed.
No, just giving them just a quick glimpse of what the back end actually looks like. So we're going to be accessing this data through an API. So it is cool to see the front end and also to see how much crap is on the screen and how someone that's never looked at this stuff before or someone that doesn't really know what they're looking at can easily just be
overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at this for the first time going, holy crap, I didn't realize that
Facebook knows everything about you. And can find
so this is how the data is normally displayed like this in a default performance view. This is my view that I like to look at because it shows me the stuff that I need, the information that I need the quickest and the fastest. And I'll just do a rough example. Amount spent. Okay, we spent $343 right here. We reached 2,084 people, served up an impression 2,758 times. So, a couple of these people might have received the same impression from an ad more than once. That's what refers to the frequency. So 1.32. I know we hit 1.32 people. Obviously, my cost per click, CPM. You want to look for anomalies in here. And like on this one right here, an anomaly might be that this is spiking right here on my cost per 1,000 impressions comparatively to everything else. However, the click-through rate's really high. So that might be something to investigate. Actual people who went to the website, landed on the landing page. This is everybody who actually took action and clicked a button, means get a proposal. So that's potentially, that's how we classify a lead. And this is everybody who actually filled a form out. So it's like, top to bottom, 1,866 people to the website, only 52 of them completed a form. And then I've got my cost metrics over here and some other stuff. But yeah, in a nutshell, that's how I look at the data.
I mean, I think the just V1 of the dashboard would be showing your fields here, like your simplified version of the dashboard, right? Mm-hmm. And making it very easy.
Potentially.
Yeah.
So there's two different types of people. There's going to be people that are lead generation, like myself.
Yep.
And then there's going to be people that are e-commerce, where their goal is to have purchases on here. And
right.
So if I went into another account, another ad account, it's going to say up here, it's going to say landing page views, view content.
Yep.
So I'll go to a different website really quick of another one of our clients. Hopefully I don't get a 404 error. So this is their homepage. When you start getting down more to the actual product and taking more action, every action that I'm taking on the website, Facebook's tracking. So this is a view content, and Facebook knows that I viewed this specific content IDS, which is the product, and this is the value of that. So again, I can create an audience of everybody who has viewed a men's hoodie or has viewed this specific content IDS, and then I can create a lookalike from it. Now, when I pick my size and I add it to cart, you'll see here now that it's got an add to cart, same value, all that stuff, because we're sequentially tracking them all the way down to the very bottom of the funnel. If I go to secure checkout, it's going to fire off initiate checkout as a conversion event right there.
Yep.
And once I get to the actual payment page, it's going to say add payment info, and then when I purchase and I get to that thank you page, it's going to say purchase and it's going to say the amount. But that would be like the e-commerce side of things. So here it would be view content, add to cart, initiate checkout, add a payment, purchase. So they will be different based on somebody wanting to being like maybe like a B2B
Yeah.
where they're looking for leads versus somebody who has a straight, transactional experience and it's e-commerce.
Right. And maybe when they're signing up for to use the platform, they say what their business is doing. Are you capturing leads or are you actually e-commerce? And maybe they do both. And that's we can go across that bridge when we get there too. So it's just two different views of the data. It's not a big deal to switch between them.
So messaging, you're talking Slack. We use Discord. I don't know.
Oh,
if
Discord's fine too.
Discord's
but
fine.
Me and Andrew do you use Discord for any other stuff, Andrew?
Only when I'm killing zombies.
Okay. So yeah, Slack would probably be preferred because
We go Slack,
We
yeah.
both have it on our phones and everything. So
Okay.
I'll create a Slack channel, and then anyone that's interested in joining the little side project, I guess you find out, and then we'll create a little group and just kick it off from there. And then yeah, the idea here is like I want to, if this thing takes off and there's people that are interested and we're interested in bringing you along, potentially there's a potential to be hired on as an actual dev when you're done with school. I think that's a real possibility. Don't want to promise anything, but it'd be kind of makes sense. You're already helping us build it anyways, so especially if we get clients and there's actually dollars coming in revenue-wise on this thing. So just tossing that out there too. There's a possibility for that, but it's most importantly you're getting real-world experience, building something that's actually driving business value. That you're going to be able to walk into an interview and say, I took on this side project with a couple other guys from class, and we built this thing for this company to use, and they're out using it, and they're getting customers now. So like that is like you're walking in and like doing the mic drop on the guy that just walked in with his diploma that's just been partying at night every day, and yeah.
I like the mic drop.
Right, and that's what you have to do. You got to sell yourself, and the more experience you can get, the more you're gonna be able to talk confidently on building things, and land a great gig, or build something for
Did you
yourself.
get your question answered?
It's fine. I forgot what it was.
Okay.
Yeah. Any questions?
I think I don't know. I'm not going to ask for a raise of hands or anything, but I think we're going to have some interested takers
Okay.
because I know that many of these students are.
Yeah, and
They're-
don't feel obligated either. Like you don't have to do this. It's just I'm just here. Andrew has something that needs built immediately. I am gonna have stuff that I've got so many side ideas and websites and projects that I want to build that I just don't have time to execute on. That I just want to help him first with his project and kind of prove this out, and then be able to like I said, I want to kind of make this something. I think like Launch Code or like a startup incubator type space where you can get new developers together and help them get their feet off the ground and build something that's actually something and not just tutorials or stuff like that.
Kind of like
So.
mentorship.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you'll get some takers, and to this class's credit, for me, what I give them, they deliver.
Yeah.
You know, and so I can't say
They have
that, well, they have to, yes, but they deliver it well.
Yeah. Good.
And I've had a lot of classes that don't deliver as well as this class.
Yeah.
And so I think you're going to get some takers, and I think
Cool.
if my experience is any judge, I think they'll build what you're looking for,
Good deal.
at least on iteration 1.
Right. And this is iteration 1 too, so I have no idea how this is actually going to play out with who works on what. Do we have 2 guys working on the same thing, and then we sit down and look at it together and be like, all right, which one's better? And then have both, and don't get upset if yours doesn't get picked. Yeah, so we're just gonna see. You know, we're gonna do this together and figure it out as we go.
And this might provide a time for you guys to say, well, I really like the database side, or I really like the front
Oh, for
end,
sure.
and
Yeah.
you know, someone else can work on this, and I'd like to work on. I can really build the front end and build a pretty dashboard,
Right.
or I really want to, hit the database side and master
It's also
these.
an opportunity to learn something you haven't done too. So
I want to focus on the API calls, and yeah,
Yep.
or you want to take on multiple pieces, whatever it is. There's
Yep.
no rules here. Plus, what is it like to work on a team?
yeah,
And in school, you don't get a lot of that. So now you will get more of that.
all right, that's my TED talk. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, Andrew.
Thanks for hopping on, Andrew.
Yeah, no problem. You need anything else from me?
No, I don't think so. We'll get that Slack channel and we'll kind of communicate there moving forward.
Slack or Discord?
Slack.
Robert wants Slack.
Okay.
Slack.
Okay.
All right.
See ya.
Cool. All right. See y'all. Nice to meet you.
All right. Bye. Thanks.
Bye.